Devon, where we bring you news that they're scared to report. This day on News Center Devon, oh my God, Trump is at it again. You know the little DEI thing? I can't say little DEI, big DEI thing. Some people don't see it like that. He has DEI, takes it out of America, but wants to put it in Africa for the whites in Africa. So you want to take the DEI out of the USA for the brown people, but put it in Africa for the white people. Oh, and let me tell you this will blow your mind. So, he wants all the Haitians gone, right? All the Haitians gone. He said they need to figure it out back there at their country. He's sending them back immediately. Well, let me tell you what he's doing now. He's giving people in Africa citizenship to come over here swiftly. He said he will do it swiftly. Yes, he said they're over there in an unsafe environment. So, you talk about Biden for bringing people over from Haiti in their conditions, horrible conditions, and you go to Africa and you tell them they can come over here, only the white ones, they can come over here because it's unsafe over there in Africa.
President Trump has announced that farmers fleeing South Africa can come to America and receive a rapid pathway to citizenship.
So I guess Haiti is just heaven, huh?
From above, Haiti's capital Port-au-Prince seems like a peaceful city on the Caribbean Sea. But on the ground, most of the metropolitan area is controlled by around 150 criminal groups, which the government has failed to stop. Their members terrorize the population through kidnapping, murder, sexual violence, looting, and burning down homes. According to the United Nations, criminal groups killed over 2,000 people and kidnapped more than 1,000 others during the first half of 2023.
Gunshots, gang wars.
We're being shot at by a gang member from that direction, so the guys in here are just attacking. And then this, a human body burning in the middle of the street.
And yes, I want to take this time out to talk about a story about this little girl at Kenton Ridge School in Springfield, Ohio. She's been bullied by a boy, and her dad, a retired cop, asked the school, can we remove the boy out of the class with my daughter because she's scared? Guess what they say? We don't want to interrupt his education. We do not want to interrupt his education. Well, what about the little girl? And I hate to say it, I hate to pull the race card, but yes, she's black and the other kid is not. Now, Kenton Ridge, there's been a lot of stories on you in the past, in the history. I even have a cousin that went there. So there's a lot of stories on how y'all treat colored people or brown people or black people there. So we're going to do some investigation on Kenton Ridge, because there's more story to this.
Yes, my name is Moses Young. I'm a retired deputy with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. January 11, 2024, my daughter was threatened to be shot at Kenton Ridge High School. The teacher failed to report it to the school resource officer. She also failed to report it to the principal. She did not notify the family. She did not notify us at the time of this occurrence. The student stayed in the classroom with my daughter the whole time. He never was removed from the classroom. They took and notified me at 6:30 that night via Parent Square text message. Now, I don't know how y'all feel about that, but for me, that's inappropriate. It should have been taken care of in a timely manner. That young man should have been removed from the classroom. We all should have been notified, including the principal, school resource officer, us, and the other parent, which that never happened. Nothing ever came of the situation. They left the young man in the classroom with my daughter for the remainder of that school year. I've been fighting with them, trying to get a meeting with them, and they refused. I'm bringing it to you because you know as well as we know we have a problem with violence here in Springfield, Ohio. I'm tired of sitting around and being quiet. At this point, I'm taking a stand for the kids. You see something, say something. I'm tired of sitting back and being quiet, and I will no longer do that. I've went through the process. I've talked to the NAACP. I've talked to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Even the city of Springfield knew about it. A commissioner knew about it, and nothing was ever done with it. Hopefully, you guys can pick this up. I'm trying to figure out how we can solve this problem so this doesn't happen to somebody else's kid. And it's not just about my kid. I feel numerous reports from several parents complaining about them having to relocate because their kids are being bullied, intimidated, harassed. and something has to be done with it, period. I know that if that was a little boy in that classroom, that would, if it was my son that would have threatened somebody else's daughter, it would have been handled completely different. I put almost 17 years with Clark County Sheriff's Office. I demand some respect at some point in time. I dedicated my life to this county. I dedicated my life to this city. I would prefer that somebody step up, please, and speak out on this. So I'm just not doing this on my own. That is my time, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The violence has to stop. The bullying has to stop.
If not, we're going to have a bunch of dead kids or kids doing numbers bigger than they're alive.
One thing that I can share to not take lightly, August 4th, 2019 was a mass shooting that happened in Dayton, Ohio, which claimed my father, Derek Bud's life. And that shooter showed all those things in school and it got denied. So, and then later on, August 4th, he ended up taking 9 lives. So just because this situation didn't occur then, don't mean that it won't occur later.
And we will be following the story. In Kenton Ridge, we need answers. Oh, other news in Trump. Oh, and tariffs, right? He says he's bringing in tariffs on Mexico because of the fentanyl problem. Well, guess what, Trump? 80% of the people caught at the entry point at the border are U.S. citizens. How about that?
Colleagues' question.
And just so you understand, vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country from Mexico, and as you know, also from China, where it goes to Mexico and goes to Canada. And China also had an additional 10, so it's 10 plus 10. And it comes in from Canada and it comes in from Mexico, and that's a very important thing to say.
And the other thing that's interesting politically is he's picked a fight with Canada. Now, keep in mind that Canada has intercepted more fentanyl coming across their border from the United States than we have coming from Canada. So he tried to blame Canada and say, well, you're not doing anything about drugs coming across our border. Meanwhile, Russia allows cyber criminals to operate with impunity in Russia. You don't think that Vladimir Putin can go in and murder all these cyber criminals that are shutting down hospitals in the United States?
Trump, get your facts straight. Because if you believe anything that's coming out of Trump's mouth or anybody in his cabinet, I have a water park in the Mojave Desert that I want to sell you. Get a hold of it. And Trump just spoke at Congress, right? So we're going to do a little bit of fact check right here.
Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
President Donald Trump's claim is unsupported. Trump claimed that the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has, quote, found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud, unquote. However, the DOGE website currently states that the department has only generated $105 billion in savings, and it details less than a third of them. Trump cited a litany of terminated contracts he described as, quote, appalling waste, unquote. He's entitled to that opinion, but that's different from uncovering fraud, which is a criminal act of deceiving the government. It's unclear how much, if any, of what DOGE has uncovered is related to actual fraud. Get the full story at factcheck.org.
In other news, Derek Chauvin, the cop that was convicted of murder of George Floyd, well, guess what? They're talking about giving him. Don't listen to me. We got it right here.
You need to hear this if you're a news junkie. Ben Shapiro and Elon Musk just ignited a fiery debate. Ben Shapiro is petitioning President Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin, claiming external pressures led to an unjust conviction. Elon Musk amplified Shapiro's call, tweeting something to think about to his 219 million followers. George Floyd's family and legal experts are appalled, stating a pardon would be racially charged.
Ben Shapiro, you brought up fentanyl, that being in his system. You brought up his criminal record. I have it all in front of me. I also have the autopsy. I'll read a couple of graphs to you, Ben. The county released a statement that attributed Floyd's cause of death to cardiopulmonary arrest complicating law enforcement subdual restraint and neck compression, which essentially means he died because his heart and lungs stopped while he was being restrained by police.
And speaking of that, the Black Lives Matter that they painted in the street, the mural, Trump is getting it removed.
The sounds of demolition work have been heard in Washington, D.C., as the area known as Black Lives Matter Plaza for almost 5 years was taken down. Created in June of 2020, a portion of 16th Street Northwest was renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza following the murder of George Floyd.
Yep, he's getting it removed. He's getting it removed. And right after the George Floyd murder, a whole database for corrupt cops. Guess what? Trump got rid of that.
Breaking news. Trump just revoked Biden's police misconduct database and people are freaking out. The National Law Enforcement Accountability Database was created to track misconduct records of federal law enforcement officers, so bad cops couldn't quietly switch jobs without consequences. And here's the ironic twist. Trump actually proposed the idea first during his first term. But of course it wasn't implemented until Biden signed it into law in 2022. And now that Trump's back, he's shutting it all down.
So all the bad cops out there, they get to be bad again. And I've been seeing it on television. I've been seeing it on YouTube. Boy, they back at it, man. They're mad. And what are they mad for? Your hero, your savior is in office. You should be jumping for joy. But no, you're still mad. You're still at city meetings mad. Well, guess what? We ain't playing. In other news, my Lakers ended up going on an 8-game winning streak, and we lost. Because LeBron was hurt in the fourth quarter with a groin injury. He might be out for 1 or 2 weeks. We'll be waiting on you. Luka's got our back. Go Lakers. And in other sports, man, oh man, Springfield High School has been doing their thing. Shout out to everybody at Springfield High. We recently had state wrestling state. Shout out to Royce Rogers for taking us to state. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that went state in track, lifting, powerlifting, and wrestling. Yes, I was there. I was there at state wrestling at Ohio State University. So watch it. Here we go. Lady Cats for doing probably the best they've ever done, and the boys basketball team too also, and also our middle school. They've been balling too, man. So I want to give a shout out to all our youth at our Springfield City schools and our county schools for doing good this year. And let's go back to state again. Football, we're coming. This segment of at the end of the day gots to end. And we gotta stop this hate. That's what I want to talk to you about. Stop the hate. And if they hating, don't even get involved with it, because it will take the energy right out of you. Seep it up. Hate, stop the hate. Love overpowers the hate. You know that cookout's coming up. Yeah, that annual one where not everybody's invited. But we got some invitations. And I know the black delegation is mad at me, but we got to integrate a little bit because they're picking sides. We on the side of love. No hating over here. So on this week's invitation, it goes to
who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
If you watch our present, so-called president, he spends most of his time either in his child or his parent ego state. He never gets into his adult ego state unless he's reading off the teleprompter. And he is such a poor reader that oftentimes he makes mistakes and then he is instantly in his child ego state right in front of your very eyes. It's absolutely fascinating to watch it happen.
And I want to give a shout out to Principal Vanna at Sports Academy, Springfield Sports Academy, for her scores, her test scores being outrageous up there. And I had the pleasure to work at that school and do some documentary and get some footage of the school and just being around the staff there, man. I wish they had them schools when I was growing up. I probably wouldn't have been in a lot of the BS that I was in growing up. So I just want to give a shout out to that school because they're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay. Girl got in trouble, friend. I'm gonna call your mom so I can tell her what happened and let her know.
Thanks for watching New Center Devon. When we bring you news, they're scared to report. Ooh, that was another one. And we got we gotta go to the city meeting tonight. It's gonna be crazy. Hold on. New Center Devon. What? No. Spinner, get the camera. We gotta go.
Message! It hurt me to wake up and see my beautiful black people suffer, victimized by the oppressive, harsh realities of the hood. I guess even though we were free, we were still slaves in the mind. Message!